Wuthering Heights of Emily Bronte. Emily Jane, the fifth daughter of the Reverend Patrick Bronte and his wife Maria Branwell, was born on July the 3rd, 1818 in Thornton, Yorkshire. Emily's life was immediately afflicted by mournings, among which her mother's married the hand of her two sisters. Therefore, to escape from the daily loneliness, Emily took shelter in the fantastic world of her histories, among which Henry are work of Charlotte and Branwell and Gondal of Emily and Anne. Even if Gondal was in fantastic roots, it mirrored a lot the life of the authoress. In the history of the humanity rich of violence and destruction, Heathcliff seems to emerge the male character of Cime Tempestose, a mystical visionary story and contemporaneously a realistic novel. Cime Tempestose, native title Wuthering Heights and published in 1847, is a novel become so popular to add it to the great classics. The novel, the only one written by Emily, treats fundamental themes of romanticism as love, loneliness, hate, revenge. The love among the two main characters of the book, Heathcliff and Catherine, is absolute love, however able to bring them to self-destruction. The protagonists have very similar characteristics. Heathcliff and Catherine are bounded by an intense love, an almost mystical love that goes over the time, the space, the life and the death. They preserve their own personal identity. By their share everything, they are two souls that become one. It is a gothic, damned love story. Heathcliff has been hoisted in place to a dead brother of Catherine. The reason for the adoption of the boy by Earnshaw, Katie's and Hindley's father, is never clarified inside the story, but could be dictated by autobiographical motives. Perhaps the great-grandfather of Emily Bronte, Hugh Bronte, had adopted in Liverpool a black-haired foundling that in turn adopted their grandfather, the youngest Hugh. For this case, the bonds and the reflex of the family to the center of the novel are authentic. The novel is full of images and gothic episodes. As many critics have noticed, in the first chapters, the tone of free cruelty imposed doesn't have any bond with the project of revenge of the adult Heathcliff. Mrs. Dean, the presumed altruist, tells Heathcliff that, being him taller and twice more head than Edgar Linton, he could put him out a fight in a heartbeat. The boy's face lights up for a moment. The alleged sophisticated Linton of Truscross Grange are not sorry that their bulldog Skulker has beaten a little girl to the ankle. They only show a big surprise when they find out that it is Mrs. Earnshaw of Wuthering Heights. As well as for the little Heathcliff, who is bounded, seen and filled with insults for his look. One of the most disconcerting revelations of this first part is that after the idea of Mr. Earnshaw to take the foundling home, the same family asked him to throw him out of the door, and Mrs. Dean puts the thing, as they called it, on the threshold, hoping not to find him again the next day. In this first atmosphere, it is natural that the dying Catherine craves ardently. It doesn't matter how much inhuman it can be, because as it is for Heathcliff, out of such environment she is nothing but an outcast in exile, and only the primitive world of her infancy succeeds in satisfying her narrow character. Heathcliff doesn't need Hindle to become stoically evil. since he has always owned an implacable will from the beginning, having shown no affection or gratitude to old Mr. Earnshaw, who not only saved his life in Liverpool, but also loved him more than his children. However, if Heathcliff must embody the rule of the damned spirit, the romantic motive of the novel requires that he himself has been a victim. This novel indulges in a certain realism. The ruffled chronology begins to reset, as if we were rapidly awakening from a dream, and the present time, September 1802, was the real present both for Lockwood, the narrator, and the inhabitants of Wuthering Heights. Mysteries slowly disappear. Romantic lovers consume feelings, feel deep feelings, but their emotions being only the one of the other, excluding the rest of the world. The film adaptation of Emily Bronte's novel, the first showing both generations of history, then Heathcliff, Cathy, Edgar and Hindley, as well as their children, is directed in 1992 by Peter Kosminski and shot in the United States and Great Britain. It has in the starring roles of Heathcliff and Catherine Ershaw actors such as Ralph Fiennes and Juliette Binoche. As far as I know, the development of the story is enough faithful to the book. In my opinion, the scene all seem to be too much braves in comparison to the vastness of the written scenes. The characters are not very deep in character traits. Since the beginning, the character of Heathcliff succeeds in transporting us inside his emotions and visions to the point to almost induce us to share his project. That to take revenge of all the blames that he has suffered in life. The abandonment has traumatized him, and usually traumatized children are full of hate towards those who have abandoned them, towards themselves, and toward the whole world. Heathcliff is proud and vengeful from the beginning to the end. It doesn't show a crumb of humanity. He has a stone heart that doesn't stop at anything and nothing despite of the love received by Mr. Ershaw, Catherine and Isabella, his wife. Catherine Ershaw is a capricious, spoiled and childish person. She marries Edgar Linton because he comes from a wealthy family. But after Heathcliff's return to Wuthering Heights, she begins to regress. She gets sick and finally dies after giving birth to her daughter Cathy. Heathcliff, afflicted by the disappearance of his only love, Catherine Ershaw, begins to pine day by day, becoming almost stranger to life and the people. In conclusion, the story, both in the book and in the film, is very enthralling, romantic and at the same time gloomy and depressing. Dialogues, looks, action lead to thinking that life is unjust, fragile, full of suffering and misfortune, but in the sea of these negative emotions emerges a light of hope, passion, joy and love.